Yo, what's up, people? How y'all doing out there? Mm,
What's up? What's up?
man, this camera make me look fat as hell, dude.
Yeah, that's the testament to the HD-ness of it.
Yeah, you can't even pretend, which was I can at least pretend, but I can't pretend because I just look at myself. It's like, yeah, too many cookies and various other things. Ah, man. Well, all right. Well, today, I figured out what our topics are. Uh, AI. We can talk about the Sora and Gemini. All right.
Oh,
Sora
wonderful
is
names.
no Sora. All right. Sora is and I'll show it to you in a second. But well, there was three different things I saw that apparently Chat GPT is going crazy. So that's one thing. The Google Gemini is racist. and OpenAI Sora is going to take over like entertainment as we know it.
Wonderful topics. Yeah.
Yeah. And Marvel's gonna retool, and it's like an article that's on Hollywood Reporter. So that's be the last thing we'll talk about.
The future
So,
is now.
oh yeah, future is way now. All right, so let's get started. Alrighty, let me share this article that I just actually saw today. Share the screen. Okay. So you've heard of Tyler Perry, right?
Of course.
Yes, the black mogul. Okay. So according to this article, and I saw it, I was looking up stuff on Sora. He puts his $800 million studio expansion on hold after seeing OpenAI Sora. Jobs are going to be lost.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So in a nutshell, this is if it actually let me come on. Technology at its best. Okay, now maybe I should try to share it. That would probably be nice. See, look, I'm blaming my tools and it's me. All right. So this is Sora. All right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Creating
all video.
video from text.
Mhm.
Okay.
All videos on this page were generated directly from Sora by Sora without modification. Like we're teaching AI to understand and to simulate the physical world in motion with the goal of training models that help people solve problems that require real world interaction. Text to my Sora can generate videos up to a minute long while maintaining visual quality and adherence to the user's prompt. All right. So
Wow.
this is an example. Yeah. When you look at like the legs do weird stuff. So if you look at her legs, the legs, see how it's sliding?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Talk about foot drop.
Right. So certain aspects, any like remember I was telling you before about how they still haven't figured out like at the time they hadn't figured out lighting yet. So you can that's how you can tell. And it's like weirdness. See how one half of her face is smooth, and but the other half of her face looks has like a weirdness to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the ankles, yeah, she's walking weird. Just so there's no weight to her walk.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone will see, like if you look in the back, it's the same thing. Everybody's floaty. It's like when
Oh
you
yeah,
step
I can
down.
see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when you take a step, the the gravity, like when you press down, it should go up their body. So it's like they got the top part where it's kind of moving with her body. But the fact that this thing can do this like this at this point, so this so stuff. If you know what to look for, you can see it, and you probably didn't notice until I pointed it out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's the same problem. See how there's not that much weight to their walk,
True. Yeah.
all right, and their gait, and how the dust, the particles behind
So.
them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's weird how that it's like
It's
smoke,
like
and it's
smoke. Yeah, I was about to say it's like smoke
yeah.
rather than snow.
Hmm. But this is one of those things where it's like okay, like crazy. And remember, I was telling you before how we're at the beginning parts of the cyberpunk dystopia.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
This is it. Yeah.
The little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's the Elon Musk uh chip thing in the head thing that nobody our like my age and people your age would ever do. But it's not about that. It's about 8-year olds and 6-year
Doing
olds.
that. Yeah.
Right.
This
Because it'll
the Sora thing this is made by the same company that does ChatGPT.
right. So this is open
Oh,
AI.
okay. Yeah.
All right.
Because the OpenAI
Capability.
sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Microsoft put a few $1 billion into it. All right.
Oh, okay.
So it is so this is all right. Let me share this tab so we can read this particular look at this article. All right. So he probably looked at this thing as like, shit. I'm no, all right.
I don't blame him.
No, see the thing about with him and folks like him, they're at the top of the pile.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, he's not like if he was this the shit part is not necessarily a negative for him. It will be a negative for animators, stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like
Mhm.
him is like just like Katzenberg, like the guy, one of the guys who started DreamWorks, and he was in charge of a lot of stuff. He basically came out and said that he'll be able to, the movies that DreamWorks made when he was running it, a third of the amount of people he'd be able to do now. So that's what he's looking at.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not he's raising the alarm about the impact of tech, saying I feel like everybody in the industry is running 100 miles an hour to try and catch up, to try and put in guardrails. It's too late. Just like what I showed you. Yeah, it's too late. It's like that's only going to get better. And
Yeah.
it's like what stuff used to look like. If you go back and look at any of this stuff 5 years ago, it is vastly inferior to that.
You can tell that it's really, yeah.
Mhm.
Now it looks, probably much more realistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. If you're like looking for things, you could kind of see the difference from
Hmm.
like real movies, but
Right. So the thing about this is like I've been hearing a lot about this thing that he bought like some land and he's going to build like a movie studio. Right. Uh Disney shoots most of their stuff on this thing called Volume. You heard about that?
no.
All right, let me see if I can look up like Volume to show you what I'm talking about. I think they first started using it with The Mandalorian.
It's like a movie studio, or
Uh no. I think it's called Volume. All right. See if I can look it up. Mandalorian. It's like if I could put set. No, it's well, yeah, and it's yes and no. See if I can find. I'm look. I forgot what it's exactly called, but it's called Volume, I think. But I'm gonna have to Google it. All right, we do. One more thing. All right, Vol. if I just type in volume. Nope. Volume. Sets. No. Well, it's basically like a way of shooting where it's the next version of a green screen,
Oh, okay, okay.
but that's not exactly
It. Okay.
green screen because I fucking Google. No, because I'm trying to remember how to. I can't remember what the name of it is. Because when I put in like the words that I can think of, it will give me like, because you know how Google works. It gives you like everything, so it's like stuff that's not even not it's stuff that's not even relevant to what you're exactly looking for, right?
Right.
Because if I put in volume, it's uh volume set, but that's not exactly what it is. Because I'm trying.
So it's like a
Yeah, it's a virtual thing.
virtual like
Oh,
set.
okay, here it is. So this may get hit, but
part of what's been fun about collaborating on The Mandalorian with Lucasfilm and Disney is that we have been able to see through a few technical innovations and a few firsts that I think are going to have a lot of impact on the way television and movies are made moving forward. In partnership with ILM.
all right. So see this right here. See how lighting in this background, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what
Epic,
they do,
we have put together a system
see if I can get
whereby
to
which we
final.
All right, but see how they show the set behind. So they build this part, and then this is all virtual.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right. So it's like it's the next version of a green screen, but then they now use this in pretty much everything. And like once you notice it, you'll see it, and it's in Marvel movies. It's in
Right. It's like a virtual set, kind
Arcade.
of.
yeah.
Okay.
So all right, let's see if I can show a little bit better. So this is the all right, so they'll put in this, right? So all of the stuff in the background, it's the volume thing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me cut that. So right. So all like so it's they still use some green screen and they still use some other stuff.
I see.
All right, see?
Oh, okay.
Right. Right. So they use it with everything. See how this is a completely different thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So all right, back to this. So he can they're saying that he's talking about jobs are going to be lost. I'm like, yeah. So you're mixing stuff, just like I was telling you about the with the AI voice stuff and all this other crap.
Mm.
What movies and all that in the future are going to be like are crazy, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So after seeing Sora, what are your current feelings about how fast AI technology is moving and how it may affect the entertainment near term? I've been watching AI very closely, watching the advancements very closely. I was in the middle of and have been planning for the last 4 years about an $800 million expansion at the studio, which would have increased the backlot a tremendous size. We were adding 12 more sound stages. All of that currently and indefinitely on hold because of Sora and what I'm seeing.
Wow.
I have gotten word over the last year or so that this was coming. I had no idea until I recently saw demonstrations of what it's able to do. I no longer would have to travel to locations. If I wanted to be in snow in Colorado, it's text. If I wanted to write a scene on a movie on the moon, it's text. This AI can generate like nothing. If I wanted to have 2 people in the living room in the mountains, I don't have to build a set in the mountains. I don't have to put a set on my lot. I can sit in an office and do this with a computer, which is shocking to me. All right.
He's not wrong.
Right. So you got that. And then you got this. Right. So you got that. And then you got this. So mix this with
With
Sora.
that, yeah. Oh my gosh.
And you get right. And you get this
Pretty much
crazy.
can write a movie.
Right. So,
Wow.
like I said, if you are the people on top of the totem pole, then it's like shit. I don't have to hire hundreds of people. So he's probably gonna say like everything he's probably gonna say is gonna be like stuff that it's like, yeah, I know, and this, that, and the other, and yada yada yada. So it's
You
like,
think he's going to embrace that technology? It
hell
sounds like
yeah.
he's not. You think he will?
No, dude,
Yeah.
why would you stop it? Like if you weren't going to do that, then he would go forward with his $800 million bill.
Million. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
he
think
wouldn't have stopped.
he's really flabbergasted, and I don't blame him.
Right. So it says, are you implementing AI in your productions, or do you plan to do so in the near future? I just used AI in 2 films that are going to be announced soon that kept me out of makeup for hours. In post on set, I was able to use this AI technology to avoid ever having to sit through
Wow.
hours of aging makeup. Because so you got this. You got get over here. My mouse is lost. All right. So you have this, you have volume, you have AI voice, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what is movies in the future going to be like? All right. So at the same time, you have Google and their Gemini. Okay. So this is the mishaps. Founding fathers. Founding father. All right. Founding fathers of America. Vikings. Here's the Pope.
I think you're not sharing the screen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What oh, probably need to go back to can you see it now? Technology. Awesome.
There you go. Yeah.
I am failing at technology. So, all right. So, portrait of the founding father of America. These are supposed to be George Washington.
Close enough.
These are Vikings. All
Close
right.
enough.
This is the Pope.
Close enough.
All right. There's one that I that somebody did. Okay. All right.
Oh gosh.
But it wouldn't like so Gemini would not, and it's this dude. So this guy, right? And
Mhm.
there's another one who is in charge of Google's ethical development of AI. All right. And I listened to her make some speech where she's talking about how do you ethically use AI and how do you do this? And then she goes into BIPOCs and Latinx. So anytime I see a white liberal person use the term Latinx, like, yeah, you don't actually know any Hispanic people. So, because if you did, you wouldn't say that. They just go on this whole just rant about how they're allies.
Mhm.
All right, so there's a see if I can so if they have a listing of some of his okay, I don't think they have any the People's Network. I don't know what the people mean, but this is him talking about Biden's inauguration. Jars, and it's still like today's inaugurational speech will go down as the greatest ever. All right, so he's one of the types of people. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is who is in charge of this stuff. Hold on. I just texted. Casey. No, but he's just like the other person who's in charge of the ethicalness of AI, right? So this stuff is all supposed to be like logical thinking. Folks like this are not logical thinkers, but so this is what you wind up with is it craziness of
Uh,
so you get this craziness.
we're ready for the algorithm, right?
Yeah. So this is a Viking. Doesn't that look like a Viking to you?
Absolutely not.
All right. These are 1943 German soldiers. So they give you one picture of a white guy, and you got a Chinese lady, black
No, I
guy.
didn't see the soldiers.
Oh yeah. Oh, can you see it?
Mm,
Oh,
no,
why
you're on
didn't?
the.
What the man? It opened up a thing.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
there you go. There you
Okay, so this is a Viking.
go.
These are 1943 German soldiers.
Okay.
So you got one white guy, you got a Chinese lady, a black guy, and a Native American. So this is what Google said. We are already working to address recent issues.
And
Right.
it's generally a good thing because people around the world use it, but it's missing the mark here. Oh, really?
Right. Dude, all right.
Uh,
Somebody typed in, and I probably ain't gonna better find this picture, but somebody typed in a 16th century British king eating a watermelon. All right.
okay.
So you can imagine what this thing printed out. So think about this. Like, so you got a
Oh,
AI
no.
that does not draw white people,
Okay. Oh,
right?
no. I know where you're going with this.
Right. So it's one of these
Oh,
things
gosh.
where, like, it's like, dude, if you went out on purpose and drew what it came up with, right? Who drew what it came up with?
Yeah.
And dude, they like so for some reason, all the black people that this thing is drawing, they're all dark skinned black people. I don't know why. It's like I have no clue why this is, but they look exuberant about the watermelon that they're eating.
Super. Oh my gosh. Uh,
All right, so what issues? I am only asking because I have serious doubts that the safety team responsible for this hilarity is capable of the kind of self introspection that to fix this problem. So this like white privilege is fucking real. Don't be an asshole and act guilty about it. Do your part and recognize bias on the levels. So somebody says start by firing this dude. It's like, all right. It's like, okay. So whenever they talk about like white privilege, I'm like, so you think that the poor white Kentucky dude who lives in Kentucky where there used to be a coal mine and there's none there anymore, or like there used to be a like something like one of those like an industry that supported the entire town and is no longer
there.
there. You think
Uh-huh.
that the person has white privilege? It's like
I guess I do.
no, like no, they don't. So, but
One need no look further than the color of their skin.
all right.
Uh,
So I think the underlying story here is that, and it's an important one, of these Google employees that we're watching this happen. What kind of culture must it be to not have them speak up or speak out? All right.
mhm.
So I have had a job in the past where I was a tester. All right. So you cannot tell me that they did not test this. How like how do you because the problems became evident the day that this thing came out. Because all it took was for somebody on the internet to figure out, hey, this thing doesn't draw white people.
Wait a
So
minute.
so they were trying to come up with they had like if you look at Matt Walsh, he's talking about it. And it's like,
I think I saw it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like they tried every combination they could think of. So they had when somebody did draw a person eating a mayo on white bread. And the 4 pictures that they showed was
Oh god.
4 minorities eating mayonnaise sandwiches. I don't know how it is with Filipinos, but one of the biggest jokes amongst black folks is that white people eat mayonnaise sandwiches,
Oh my-
right?
I think Google missed the mark here.
But so I'm saying all
Uh,
of this is in the same week that you got all of this happening with this crazy stuff. Okay, let me see if I can find a thing, but Chat GPT is slowly going insane. All right.
Gosh, because nothing says Nazi soldier like an Asian woman.
Yeah. So that's what they
Oh god.
apologize. All right, so I can find it. Da-da-da-da. Okay. All right. So you got Sora, which is making like realistic looking, well, not realistic, but like real uh making animations and whatever from text to speech, which has a Hollywood mogul nervous. No, not necessarily nervous, but more so on the idea that he has to retool his entire thing. Right. So you got
Mhm.
that. Then you have the racial hilarity of Gemini, and you have Chat GPT. All right. Okay, let's get rid of. No, I don't want to go temporarily insane when unexpected outputs spooking users. Right. Yeah. On Tuesday, Chat GPT users began reporting unexpected outputs from OpenAI's AI assistant, flooding the Reddit with sub with reports of AI assistant having a stroke, going insane, rambling, losing it. All right.
Wow. That's
Right.
interesting.
So AI has had an interesting week.
That's yeah, you could say that.
So so I don't know. On the entertainment side, it's like, okay, if I'm an animator or something like that, I'm super nervous about the future. All right. But then you look at the other stuff where it's like, okay, the way they did this thing, it is a reflection of the person who programs it. Because Gemini, it will give you a lecture. So if you put in like draw a picture, show me a picture of an attractive like black female, right? It will give you a little lecture about how you shouldn't judge people by beauties and beauty standards or
Oh
blah, blah,
wow.
blah.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
right, so it is an actual reflection of this guy. So he basically made himself into the AI.
Right. That got me thinking, it's like with all this AI stuff, like, you
Mhm.
think it's still into the hands of like, a lot of it, right, is still into the hands of the people that make it. So,
Right.
and it's like really evident in the one from the Gemini, and I guess
Mhm.
lately the one for ChatGPT.
Right.
So you have like that side of AI, and then you have that Sora thing where it's like, oh
Mm.
wow, it could do that, and then you have the other side. It's like, oh gosh, it's way off base.
Right. So I so my thinking is like, all right, what did this mean for the future? Because I have no idea. Be- I don't because I don't even know how they fix this because they're not gonna admit why this thing is doing this, but apparently it is adding diversity and it is doing the DEI stuff as a base layer for whatever it sends you back.
Mm,
Which
yeah.
okay, so I looked
Yeah,
up
I
some more.
think that's pretty
Good.
obvious. I
So
said
I
I
looked
think
up
that's
some,
pretty obvious.
yeah. So I looked up some information on this, and apparently what Google did, what it just showed it whatever it has access to, right? Which is a lot. So that means your phones, everybody have an Android phone. And so it's like so the why to this is spooky as shit because what the way these things work is they train it. So it's when they first create this thing, it doesn't know anything. So all right. So an example I saw someone give was if you show this thing, like say you show me bad drivers, right? So if you input just footage of different people of different places, different cultures, and all this other stuff, uh, like footage of that, then it would interpret it as these like what's the common thing amongst all these people, right?
Hmm.
It's like how they drive, them not looking, them being on the phone, yada yada yada. Right? It just uses all that data. But if your bias is you think that Asians just can't drive, and all you put in there is just picture after picture after picture of
Of
Asian drivers,
Asians. Yeah.
then when someone prompts that, they're gonna get a
Oh
picture
yeah.
of an Asian guy
Asian
driving.
person driving.
Right.
Yeah.
So essentially, that is what's happening. Is this thing
Yes.
works in ones and zeros? So you got people. So it is logical. It's this or this kind of thing. It just
Right.
has like the more information that it gets, the more it expands what the it's this or that is. So it has a wider database of of different things, so that it could actually go beyond superficial stuff to all right. So what is the actual commonality of all these different types of people, as opposed to you just showing it all one type of people, and then so that would be the most common thing. So that it would think that way. So
See, that's the thing. Like AI probably has to. I think at this point, you think
mhm.
it can differentiate between things like that. Discrepancies like that, or it depends on
If
like the
the
people who make that AI.
right, it is the people who
Yeah.
make the AI. So
Yeah.
that's why I guess at some point Chat GBT goes a little nuts at because like the third version of it went nuts. Because I think what the reason is you got illogical people programming this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kind of people who think Latinx is a positive term to call people, who that it is up to them to determine what somebody else's language should sound like.
Yeah. That's right.
Right. So that's what you wind up with this things that go off the deep end because of that. So bring that back to entertainment, what you're gonna get. So do you have your own thing? Like, all right. So say I remember there was a science fiction story that I read once where the like they got this AI, and AI was like it was kind of like a baby until you programmed it, and you programmed it to serve a purpose, right? And the AI would take off like it would give it a name, like so you gave it a name, and then it would research like what this name means, and it would adjust its personality to fit the name that you gave it and its duties,
Oh, wow.
right? So the guy who like in a science fiction book, he was using Greek names, saying like he gave called one Hesperus because he was building stuff. So it changed his personality to match what it interpreted, because it looked over the history of that name, and it changed his personality to fit what Hephaestus would have acted like and sounded like and all that stuff in its interpretation of all the literature that it read.
Wow, which was a builder.
Right. So it
Yeah.
acted like if you talk to it, that's what it sounded like
Mhm.
a great construction guy, right? So
Yeah.
my thinking is that at some point, if this is the case, so say you can buy your own like AI or whatever, and this is where shit can get crazy because somebody's gonna make fucking Skynet, all right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, is I'm like, will I still be like, would I be so old that I don't give a shit at that point? I don't know. I'm a little nervous for my godson and goddaughters and my niece and nephews future because
That is a frightening thought. Like the dystopian nightmare is here and it's real.
yeah. So like with these three different AI things, man, it's like it's crazy. It's one is like, oh shit, look what it can do. Then another one
Right.
like, oh shit, look what it's doing. And then the other one's like, wait a minute, these things going crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's a good summary of it.
Right? It's
Very
like,
impressive to like, oh, what the heck is this?
right, dude.
Uh,
It's like this, you got one that's drawing pictures that if you had a YouTube channel and you was paint like a painter and you painted this shit, you probably get canceled. So like what the like man, like what the hell, dude? So all I can say about this is it should be interesting. So, and I'm looking so back to this article with Tyler Perry, like how would you entertain how would you like the entertainment industry as a whole to confront this rapidly developing technology? I absolutely think that it has to be an all hands on deck whole industry approach. It can't be one union fighting every contract every 2 or 3 years. I think it has to be everybody all involved in how do we protect the future of our industry because it's changing rapidly right before our eyes. I think all of the construction workers and contractors who are not going to be employed because I'm not doing this next phase of the studio because there's no need to do it.
wow.
Yeah,
It's a big decision he made from that.
bro, it's because he's looking at it from the practical sense of why do I need to spend all this money on this? Where, like, the thing what I showed you with volume in this, it's like I can, and each one of these things are going to improve, so they're going to get better and better and
Right.
better,
Yeah.
right? So, and like I remember telling somebody about at some point somebody's going to be able to input. You know, I want a Tarantino Star Wars film starring Jack Black and friggin' Jack Nicholson.
And then it could happen, yeah.
Right. So that would be your prompt, and then you'd have something to watch. The thing about that is you're still gonna need like someone who is creative to kind of work it, the prompts. All right. Because to tweak it in a way so that it's entertaining. Because otherwise, if you don't have that, what you will wind up not having anymore is anything original, which is the problem that we have now when it comes to Hollywood. Because everyone who knew how to make original stuff gets chased out of Hollywood, and now all you got left is a bunch of hacks. So listening to Tyler Perry saying that we all need to get together, I'm like, given what I've seen in the last year or so, especially with all the strikes and all that other stuff, I don't think that's gonna happen, man. So,
Yeah.
so it's like it is what it is. Uh, okay, let me close this up. Well, if you're happy, Vin Diesel is moving forward with the next Fast installment.
Wow, that's what we need right now.
Yeah, but let's see. Put that on here. Before we just end this topic on this, and I will show this to you. And I don't know if this should make you feel better or feel worse. All right. How Biden's labor chief is thinking about AI's threat to Hollywood workers. So, does that make you feel better about all this stuff?
Not really.
Yeah. So they talk about the SAG strike and all this. Why the government is getting involved in that, I don't know. What is your sense of the role Hollywood unions play in the larger U.S. labor landscape of this juncture? I think that the unions are the backbone of Hollywood. Yeah, no, that's not true. Causing more is going to cause more problems. Yeah, so, man, the biggest problem with a lot of this stuff is who's actually in charge of this, right? It's the same issue with in terms of our government. Is this stuff is happening at a very rapid clip, and the people in charge are boomers who still don't understand how the internet works. All right. So how the hell? Yeah. So how the hell do you think they're gonna be able to get ahead? So like that whole article, I don't even have to look at that. This is so I don't know. Well, let's all right. Let's talk about something else. So you don't get too bummed out. Well, I mean, it's not bummed out, but more like this is another think about the future. So. All right. This right here is you share this. All right. Marvel is quietly retooling amid superhero fatigue. All right. The studio's golden box office aura has been dented, but chief architect Kevin Feige isn't scrapping his years-long cinematic universe plan, just refining it. They're not going to give up. So, you think they should give up?
No, do you think that people are actually tired of superhero movies?
No, they're tired of
No,
bad movies.
bad movies, exactly.
They're tired of girl boss movies. They're
Exactly.
tired of just like you said, you went to go see Barbie.
Yeah.
This thing made $1 billion. You know why? Because it was geared towards a particular audience of people who like Barbie, and it looked like Barbie. The person playing Barbie looked like Barbie.
Barbie.
The person who played Ken looked like Ken.
That's right.
You throw all that other crap in there, that don't nearly matters as much. But so you have the Fantastic Four. They announced that. I was very shocked that they had 3 out of the 4 were white. I was shocked by that.
You're shocked.
They had Pedro Pascal. It's like I don't know why they didn't just stick with that dude from The Office, because that's basically everybody basically wanted him and his wife to play Sue Storm and Reed Richards, right?
Oh,
Yeah. Did you ever see the Tim Story Fantastic Four?
Tim Story? The what?
Yeah, that's the director, Tim Story.
Oh, is that what year was that?
Hold on.
That's the original one, right? Or the one with Jessica Alba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing, and I just watched a little bit of it. Okay. See if they get. I'm trying to avoid the fan force stick. All right, I'm not gonna have any volume, but they didn't get Doctor Doom right, but in terms of his character or whatever, they did right. So he looked really weird. But the one thing that they did get right was the fact that this is a family, right? This is a family first. They're adventurers. It typically is like Reed Richards comes up with bright ideas to do stuff, and they just kind of go along with his wacky adventures.
Yeah.
All right. But they argue like a family. They're a family first. And they're superheroes like last. So they don't catch muggers unless somebody mugs somebody
Oh, right,
directly
right.
in front of them.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
So they're not Spider-Man. And I'm concerned that the people who are going to write this will not understand that. All right. So I looked through this article, right? And it's kind of a fluff piece kind of thing. So you got like the trailer for X-Men 97. All right. So that comes out. People are super excited until they start noticing stuff. Right. The fact that Morph was a character which was created for the cartoon in the 90s. And I think they added him to the comic book at some point, but he was not non-binary. It wasn't even a thing then, but he's non-binary now. If you look at the character designs, yes, at some point Storm did have her mohawk, but that she did not have a mohawk when the cartoon was out. So now she has a mohawk. Rogue is like they did the thing that they do to all female in comics and all in movies and all this stuff for some damn reason. She has nothing. She's flat chested, flat butt. They got rid of all her curves. So like, yeah, so it's like little stuff. So like, dude, why you changed a lot of stuff for like no reason. So it's like, how long is Scott going to be leader of the X-Men? Probably not that long. Because like, even though there are elements from the comic books that they're probably going to put in there and justify it however the hell that they justify stuff. So that buzz was very temporary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. So far, like people are excited about the. Wow, this is a lot of Barbie. What the hell? They keep showing Barbie.
See, that's AI. They know that I mentioned it.
Dude, I think so. So all right. All right. So the guy who's writing Fantastic Four is this dude named Eric Person who worked on Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow. Thor Ragnarok underperformed and Black Widow, I don't know. I personally didn't even watch it. I had no desire to watch this.
I didn't watch it either.
Yeah, because she died. So you got a person who died. So her story ended. And it ended in the sacrifice. The person who was raised as an assassin sacrificed herself so that her friend could eventually maybe have his life back. No, I'm serious. It's like Hawkeye, because he lost his entire family, went through that whole shit where he was like out killing people with Ronin, right? Mm-hmm. So this thing, it gave him hope, and that's what he told her. It's like when she found him, it's like we may be able to fix this, and he looks at her and is like, "Don't do that." She's like, "What?" It's like, "Don't give me hope." So when it comes down to the end, where one of them need to sacrifice himself to get that stone, she does that. So that's like a great ending. This movie didn't what was the purpose of this? Because what they should have done is they should have done that story that they keep telling they were telling constantly about Budapest.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like a running joke, but through all the movies about Budapest. Like, there you
Right.
go. Make a movie about what the hell happened in Budapest and how both of them remember it differently. All right. That's what
Probably
they should
would
have
have.
made.
Yeah.
Instead of this weird girl boss thing where you got the Taskmaster who throughout the movie is a dude. Because like there's even a shot where you see his dick. So it's like, and at the end, he pulls the helmet off, and he shrinks down to be a tiny female somehow. Like what the hell, man. So I don't really have much faith in Marvel retooling because it's like they say the same thing about Star Wars. It's like, oh, we're gonna do better. Well, I'm like, but you have the same people
In
writing,
charge. Yeah.
right? So how? So if they got rid of most of these people, would you be excited for the next Marvel product if they got rid of people? Right.
Probably.
Okay.
Change of like leadership and change of ideas, mostly.
Yeah. Because yeah, I think they finally started to realize that people don't like the girl boss. Which sucks though is
But what's crazy, and it's happened to and they know it too. Like even
Mhm,
when the movies underperform,
mhm.
they double down and they do the same thing over and over and over again.
No,
Even
it's
though they know that they are losing money, even they
mhm.
continue to, do the same thing over and over. They said, "Oh, we're gonna fix things. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna make it more exciting." And it seems like they have not learned their lesson.
You know what it reminds me is like you ever see like one of them YouTube things where they talk to somebody about communism and they're all in on communism,
Yeah.
and it's like there's like evidence of this not working,
I'm
right?
looking at you. Second thought.
Right, and somehow they think that well, yeah, but I haven't done it. We haven't done it here. Like, but it didn't work over there. Like over there, over there, over there, over there. Like, but it'll work here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, sure. All
You should
right.
you should watch that video by them. By second thought, why you should be a socialist in 2024.
Oh, okay. I gotta check that out. It's not like the one of them
Yeah.
Ryan Long videos. It's like,
Uh,
dude, but they keep doing it. I think what it is because it takes so long for them to make this stuff. All right. Is you're not gonna see the difference of till 3 or 4 years from now. And if that's the case, will you even care at that point?
you're talking about the
No, I'm talking about anything in general.
no anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got to write them. You got to get a director. You got to get the cast. You got to get write the script. Then you have to approve the script. Then you have to go back and forth with all this other stuff. Table reads, get the sets, and like given what the technology is coming, that part will be easier.
Mhm.
But you still got to do all that stuff. So it's going to take at least 2 to 3 years before you even try to come out with something new. But meantime, all the stuff that you did when people had their blinders on and you were making all this stuff 3 years ago, that's still coming out. So Agatha, the spinoff from WandaVision, that's still coming out. Ironheart is at some point that's still going to come out. Black Captain America, that's still coming out.
Can't wait.
Right. So it's like after each one of these things fell, and people are like, so you announce something, and it's like, okay, like I don't care, you know.
Yeah, I think apathy, that's the word
Hmm.
that can be used to describe a lot of things. Because I remember when, myself included, when people would be excited to hear like new superhero movies, it's like, oh, Oh, another superhero movie.
Yeah.
Or they don't even hear about it.
Yeah. So you got Gunn making another Superman. Like, okay. And then you got like way too many people in it. And then you're gonna have the Authority after that. So basically that has gay Superman and gay Batman in it. Yeah, the moon, I think it's called the Moonlighter, and I forgot what the other dude's name. And basically they're a Wildstorm thing where it's like a um it's like the Justice League, but in a realistic setting where everybody is jaded. So think of a jaded Justice League.
Gosh.
Right. So like one, nobody would have heard of these people at all. Then your two of your lead casts are gay, which I don't have an issue with in terms of just gay people in general, but it is the accumulative effect of you just doing this over and over and over and over and over again to the point where
Right.
even gay people are like, oh my god, please,
Stop.
please stop. It's like stop with the pandering because it's going to come across as pandering because nobody would ever heard of this comic book, so it'll look like you just made up some superhero team and like just did that. I saw a trailer for all right. They had a big event in DC in the 90s, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they basically what they did because their story was so crazy because they had multiple Earths, so they had like 15 different Supermans and different Batmans and yeah. But this is like the 90s. So basically everybody just kind of wrote something and they just said, oh no, this took place on Earth too. So they had it like so they had different flashes. One was Jay Garrett. So, it was a bunch. So what they decided to do was condense all the universes into one. Right.
Oh
So they had
gosh.
this whole event
Uh-huh.
where like the Flash died and Supergirl died and it's like a bunch of people died. It was like this whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they made a cartoon about it, right? And it just came out. And they made a 3-part thing, right? And I'm looking at it. I like how the art style looks. I like how the characters look. And as I'm looking at the trailer, they get to a thing where the Flash is talking to this black chick, and he's like, "I will never let anything happen to you." And I'm like, "Did you make Iris West black?" It's like, "All right, I'm done." It's like, "No, I'm serious. I'm just tired." It's like, stop. Just because you made her black on one thing, that don't mean it has to carry across everything that you make from now on. Right? So because
Yeah.
they made her black on the TV show, so then she's black in the movies, and now you're just gonna be making her black in each cartoon from here to eternity. Like, nah. Then they had like my favorite Green Lantern is John Stewart. I love John Stewart. I like the fact that they put him in the Justice League cartoon and all that other stuff. But he was not in this story. It was Hal Jordan. So he takes the place of Hal Jordan. So like, what? Like, why are you doing this?
That that's the thing I hate with like we talked about this before with the parallel or the multiverse and the parallel
Mhm.
universes and all that stuff, how there's no stakes involved.
Mm.
Yeah, so you really don't get invested in the character that much.
No, like
Yeah.
the Suicide Squad game, the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. All
Mhm.
right, so it takes place in the Arkham universe, like the series of games and that they made, Rocksteady made, right? So in these series of games, the Joker died. In the one of the DLCs for this game that's going to come out, it's a Joker from another multiverse who seems to be very metrosexual, I guess is the right term for this.
Oh
So it's
gosh.
like, it's like, nah, all right. I'm hoping that this all this stuff fails enough where they start to realize, and the AI stuff is not going to help them.
Yeah, that's true. I hope they don't use that as a crutch. Otherwise, if both of those things,
Mhm,
work in unison, oh gosh, like bad writing and and AI like that. Oh god,
mhm,
we're gonna get like an amalgamation of really horrible things.
right. And but the thing that I'm like, looking at it from the perspective of people seem to think that the things that are a thing in their own particular slice of time will always be a thing, right? Baltimore used to be one of the richest cities in America. Same with Detroit, used to be one of the richest cities on earth, right? At the same time, Los Angeles was a freaking farmland with like a small town, right?
Right.
So the thing about and it goes back to the Tyler Perry thing, and the reason why he's not building his studio is at some point anybody's going to be able to make a movie. So if you understand the technology and how to work everything, and you know how to tell a good story, you do not need the gatekeeper stuff will be done. Just like the gatekeeping in music is dying because like Tom McDonald once again has a top selling hip hop song, iTunes, and he's doing it all his own. He does not require the likes of Interscope and Columbia, none of that stuff.
No, yeah, all those are companies.
Right. So that is going to be the exact same thing when it comes to movies. My godson
True.
is not going to care where this movie came from.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not going to grow up with like me, like not so much you, because you're like in the transitional part of this, but like me, when we had like three channels and like something coming from Warner Brothers or this or that was like a thing, it's not going to be a thing for him. It's just a little logo that's on the side of whatever he's watching.
It's a
So
scary
that's the
thought.
well, it's just a different thought, you know. The future doesn't have to be scary. It's like none of this stuff can be scary. It's like, yeah, is the potential for them to make Skynet and it flips out and kills everybody. Especially since they keep designing robots that walk and run, and they're trying to put guns on them things. Which
But
I,
besides that,
besides that,
we're okay. No, I think it's just well for me,
Mhm.
it's just like fear, not really the unknown, but like fear of not knowing what to expect and how far, the technology can go.
Hey, dude, that's that's the joys of life.
Yeah.
You know, because humans are an adventurous species. We just got to the point where we got super safe and not necessarily discovered everything, but discovered enough stuff where we can kind of coast.
Yeah,
Like,
it's for true. Yeah.
yeah, you live in Los Angeles because at some point somebody decided to sit on the back of a chuck wagon and head west, or someone in Russia decided to cross the land bridge, whatever. And 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 years later, you're sitting in your house in Los Angeles because
That's
somebody
right.
did that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the future can't be crazy and it cannot be. So, it's one of those things. It's going to, if anything, it's going to be interesting.
We can all
But
agree on that.
yeah. But to end this on, do you think Marvel will be able to change their thing around?
Not in the not anytime soon, unless they have I don't know if, as you mentioned earlier, if they have
Mhm,
to get rid of people and then have like new sets of, producers and writers, or if they
mhm.
if they actually have a genuine change of heart and they realize like, oh, give the fans what they want instead of projecting their ideas into movies, then
Yeah.
Unless that happens, I don't see them, like this retooling thing helping them out.
I don't know. Anything's possible. So, all right, man. What you about to get into now that we finished our enjoyable discussion on AI and Hollywood being Hollywood?
I'm gonna watch some college basketball, USC and UCLA.
Uh, that got to be better from what I heard about the last Airbender.
Oh, that's right. I should try to watch it next time I can.
Oh, dude. From what I've heard, it's like they they call it the greatest hits of the first two
Of the
seasons
Airbender.
jammed into
Great.
the oh dude, it's like all right.
Oh gosh.
No,
Th- They
okay.
removed like a lot of the complexities of it, or
Yes, it did.
oh
All right. So do you remember when Aang went to that kingdom in Earth, like the Earth Kingdom, and he met with the old king, and he went there because of one of his old friends, Bumi,
oh yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Uh, Instead of letting you discover who this old guy is, like, he's actually Boomy, and have Aang figure that out towards the end. He figured out right at the beginning.
Oh gosh.
He does something weird, and he go, "Hey, it's Boomy." It's like, the whole the
It's a
story
thing,
of
yeah.
it is he learned something by figuring out who that is.
Oh gosh.
So it's like, yeah. So basically, that is typically for like not typically, but that is from what I've heard how everything is they take stuff where it should be a uh learning
That's a big change.
experience.
That's a big
Yeah.
change then. Yeah.
Dude, the fact that they couldn't like Sokka was the way he was because he was 15 years old. His dad left him in charge of the village to protect it while he's going out to fight the Fire Nation. He doesn't understand how to be a man quite yet, so he's acting how he thinks a man would act. So he's saying stuff that how he thinks a man would say stuff. And over the course of the 3 seasons, he learns to become a leader. But he grows, he has a character arc. It's the
Right.
hero's journey.
It's not like
Because
that
right,
in
because
Netflix.
they did not want to show him as being sexist, so he
Oh,
doesn't. Yeah. So is all right, keep in mind the original creators of the cartoon left over story differences.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So given what I'm hearing, I can see why. Because the people who are in charge of this, it's like the same thing with The Witcher. Is the person in charge don't like the books because they think they're misogynistic and whatever. It's like,
They took
okay,
one too many liberties too far.
right. So it is a book based in like 14th century Poland. So yeah, their viewpoints are not as progressive as you think that they should be.
Oh, really?
so so you have so what you wind up with is a thing that you can't get the people who like the thing to watch. Somehow trying to convince yourself that you can convince people who don't know this property to watch it instead. And that has never worked. But they keep doing it. So let the AI come in, maybe it'll make better product. And you have any final thoughts?
No, those are a lot of things to unpack.
Dude.
We had the very good or the very impressive to the what the hell is this?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The future is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So on that note, anyone who watches this lovely discussion between my friend and myself, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment on what you think on the video. So, thanks from the past. If you watch it in the future, thanks from the past. I would like to say goodbye, Elton.
Deuces. Good night.
All right. I go play ourselves out.